Lokk tea mixture throughout the hair, and you don't need to rinse it out, you just leave it in. As you can see under here, like the first layer around the nape of the neck, the hair is always heaps thinner. And what you'll find sometimes, like Dylan has a little bit of short hair there. Basically, the rule with when making dreads is that the base size, the size of each base, will control how big the dread gets. And as a rule, dreads usually fatten out to 3/4 of the size of the base. So that's how we can determine how big the dread's going to be.
So these bad boys are going to be around about this size, everyone. So you can just see the difference and how they're going to expand. Section this hair today. So we're just going to show you how that's done. We're just going to have a little look at the hair. So I'm just making a swoop across here. We like our sectioning to be pretty perfect. And I'm working today on K Diddy, who is actually our sectioning queen.
Hi.
So we need to make sure that he's looked after and that the sectioning's really beautiful. I'm just kind of like now getting a really nice kind of like feel for where I want it all to sit. You can usually get pretty close to a nice perfect line, so don't give up. Don't just do any old thing, because it's important that the client is feeling like you're caring about them and that you would do your very best. So once you've got like a nice even line like that, grab the top that you're not using right now. We'll just pop that in there. This hair is obviously not a whole head. So if you were doing a whole head, you would be starting down this area here. But what we're doing is just a little mohawk. And so we shall start from there. Now, sometimes I like to just go in on the sectioning and just see these tiny little bits here that we can just even up with the hook. The hook makes it nice and easy to do that because it's a bit sharper than the actual comb and just makes the whole process a little bit nicer. So just hold the head like that, hold the hair down, run the hook along and just get rid of anything that doesn't fit into that nice strong shape. So what I'm doing is sweeping straight across, so I've got a nice triangle size on either side there. That's his first little dread. We're just going to knot that off. Now we're going for the next swoop down, so you can see it comes from this area here and we swoop down in that way. So we now have a triangle both sides. Up, down, up. Going to sit really nicely across his scalp. So now into there. Now you can see by looking at the size of this triangle, a dread's always going to be about 3/4 the size of the actual base. Some expand to the actual size of the base, but it will always be at least 3/4, if not more. That gives you a really good indication of, you know, that that triangle is going to be about the size, a little bit larger in some cases, of a pencil, but largely about a pencil size. When we come to the end like this, sometimes we have an end that's a little bit different shape to what we imagine. This one's not too bad actually, it's fairly much a triangle, but sometimes the end is a little bit less than a triangle. You might want to scrape it a little bit off. Kara's got a pretty fine shave there. He's not too out of control. So I'm just letting everyone can see here the beautiful shapes that we're now starting to see at the top of the head. So this is like what we want to see. We want to see these flowers, they're neat lines, they're really precise lines, really easy to section. So in this one here, what we're going to do now is create the next one here. As you can see, I'm going from this area here, I'm swooping across, nice fine lines that meet the area. So grab the hair, pull it down, and just grab all that hair across, and then you've got a nice line that's going to meet and be the flower that we need at the top of the head. Really easy when you get to the top part. You actually have a little bit of a guideline with the other hair that's here, so it's nice and easy. We've got the shape coming here, it's going around, nothing at the back here, and it's just going to be like on the top. So what I'm doing is doing what we call shooting up. This is very thick follicle. Lots of Asian hair has a very thick follicle element to it, and it can be quite difficult to convince, but once it is there, it's fairly hardy. So I've just shooshed that up to give it a little bit of fluff. And so we've sectioned it off nicely, and we're just going to do the usual weaving and binding down the thread. This thread's going to be slightly larger today than a pencil, but you'll see that they're fairly fine to start off with.